Across the UK, online and on DAB.
We are Talk.
Talk Radio. Give it some lip.
Talk Radio.
Can you get out of the studio, Ash? Unbelievable. I don't have much time to set up things in here. And then James and Ash just hang around talking rubbish for 5 minutes. Outrageous behaviour.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Yesterday was kinda like the 4th of July. The way your face lit up the entire sky. Had to look away because it hurt my eyes. The way you hit me was a big surprise. Yesterday I really didn't know what to say. I wasn't making any sense, but it felt okay. Ask you if it was my birthday. This kind of thing don't happen every day. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. I didn't think an angel would get in my way. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. I didn't think an angel would get in my way. Yesterday I felt just like a child, a little curious, a little wild. Live in the moment and you'll never go out of style. You know it's really been a while. Hey, 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 hey. I didn't think an angel would get in my way. Let me tell you, yeah. Excuse me, won't you step aside? I don't got no room for you in my life. I don't got the patience to love again. I don't got the guts to keep you as a friend. Be an angel to fly away. I hope you reach some heavenly place. You come back when you're all good. And bring me some raindrops from the Today I feel like I'm doing time. I didn't think it would be such a shameful crime. It's been a while since I let you go. Time don't let regrets go. Hey, 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 hey. I didn't think an angel would get in my way. No, no, no. Hey, hey, hey. I didn't think an angel would get in my way. Hey. So I gotta welcome angels, welcome angels, welcome angels, welcome angels, Helping old lady up the stairs. Let a fat lady sit in your seat on the subway. Give a bum a meal. Bum a cigarette. And give it back.
So I watched the SAS programme on Channel 4. I couldn't understand what was going on. I've never seen it before. And I don't really watch TV very much now. I kind of watch movies on Netflix. Oh, by the way, Midnight Tonight. Have you seen Man vs. Snake? The documentary that's on Netflix. About Tim McVeigh, not that one, who's the first person ever to score 1 billion points on a game. He's coming on the show tonight at midnight. That's happening, so that's cool. But I don't really watch... I'm all out of breath. I was running around like an idiot there trying to set up the studio after James and Ash had left it in a terrible, terrible state. And then normally I come... It's why we played the song there. Normally I come in and I have a bit of time to set up before the news. And they were just stood there talking and talking. And I'm thinking, Jesus, man, you're off the meter now. Can you not just take a break? And they just stood there gabbing. And I don't even know what they were talking about. How their show was brilliant and how they were going to save talk radio from the doldrums. I don't even know what they were talking about. It was like I got in a time machine back to 1996, guys, and it wasn't pleasant. So we need to, and I don't want to say this to them because I'm talent, so I don't need to, but I'm hoping that Catherine and Ed, between them, Ed produces James Wales, weekday, 7 o'clock, right? I'm hoping that Ed can have a word with James and say, look, once the show is finished, get up out of the studio, clean your mess, and leave. Because it's just not fair. I mean, they're the warm-up act for me, right? So they've done the job. They've kept the engine ticking over while people are having their dinner and watching the soaps and stuff. And then it's time for the big show at 10 o'clock. So we need to sort that out, okay? But I don't really watch television now. And I watched some television tonight, and it just... I totally get... I remember now why I don't watch TV. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. We watched a bit of Corrie. Then we saw some of I'm a Celebrity. Who is that guy from the dance troupe? He's not even the kid with the afro, is he? I thought he was the kid with the afro. He's not even the kid with the afro. I'm looking forward to Danny Baker and Martin Roberts going in, though. That's going to happen soon, isn't it? That has to happen soon. Danny Baker's not been tweeting the last few days, and Martin Roberts wasn't in at the weekend. What does that tell you? Huh? Come on, guys, we're not stupid. But it bored me, I'm a Celebrity. And I started getting maudlin, thinking that maybe I should have said yes to it when they asked me 4 times, and I didn't. So then we switched over to Channel 4, 0344 499 1000, by the way. We'll start the show in a minute. Then we flipped over to Channel 4 to watch the SAS show. And I don't understand it. Well, I didn't understand what was so difficult. Did you watch it? I don't understand what was so difficult. So they were, like, I was going to say being tortured, but it wasn't torture, really. They had to crouch for 24 hours. I mean, I've been to gigs where you get there at 10 in the morning, the band you want to see isn't on until 7 in the evening. You have to stand, and then Alan, did you see it?
Unfortunately not. I was watching something on BBC One.
Okay. So, and then they got questioned and they just had to lie. I can lie. Keith, ask me what my name is.
Dave.
No. What?
That's your name, Dave. Iain.
No.
Oh, what's your name?
I'm Tony. My name is Tony Mustafa.
You sound just like Tony Mustafa. I know him from the kebab shop.
That's a bit racist. I don't work in kebabs. I work in computers.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. I'm an IT guy.
Can you come and help me fix my computer? Because I don't know nothing about them.
With absolute pleasure.
Okay.
Then when I go and fix your computer, I get to steal all of the secrets. You see, I'd be brilliant on that programme. Hang on a minute. Alan, ask me my name.
What's your name?
I just told the other fella I'm Tony Mustafa.
What's your wank?
What's my what?
R-A-N-K.
Say it one more time.
What's your wank?
I'm not. What do you mean? I'm not in the military. I'm a computer expert.
What is the basis of Windows 10?
What do you mean? What is the basis of Windows 10? I work with Apple
computers.
Yeah, I work with Apple computers.
What's the basis of a MacBook Pro?
Well, it's Linux, of course. Oh, yes, 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 yes. See, all of the lies have to have some founding in reality, right? You can't just go in cold. I answered the question. I've got through to the next round.
Ooh,
no one. 0344 499 1000, right? Hello, my name is Tony Mustafa. I'm a computer expert. I work in computers. Why are you holding me prisoner? If anyone wants to phone up this evening and grill me SAS style and try and get the truth out of me, you won't be able to. Because lying like that is easy. And this is why I couldn't understand what the programme was trying to do. I mean, all those people were rubbish liars. All you got to do, you pick a name, you pick a job, you pick a town, and you stick with it. Now, had they been proper SAS, this is what I said they should have done. They should have sat the fella down. This is how you do it. You tie arms behind the back, legs to the chair leg, right? And then you get a gun. I've seen this on 24. It works. It absolutely works. You put the gun face down onto just above their knee, just on their knee. You say, right, you're going to start telling me the truth. Now, even I would be a little bit nervous in that situation. And then, before you even ask them a question, you shoot and you fire a bullet through their leg. Oh, yeah! That shows them that you are loco, right? And that you are not, you're playing outside of the conventional parameters of the questioner, the interrogator. Suddenly there are no rules, which in many ways, if you're the person being interrogated, is terrifying, but then it frees you up to be loco. It's a complicated business. But if anybody wants to, go on. If anyone wants to phone up and try and interrogate me, my name's Tony Mustafa. Then 0344 499 1000. I guarantee you will not be able to see through my story, and I will. Does he want to have a go? He wants to have a go, does he? Hang on a second. Do you want to have a go, Kyle?
Evening, you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Well, I don't know why you're holding me prisoner here for. I've done nothing.
Well, I just want to know a few answers to a few simple questions.
I'm happy to answer those questions, but can you tell me why you've got me here?
Well, you're an enemy of the state.
I'm in where? Sorry.
You're an enemy of the state.
I don't even know what that means. What state?
Well, I think you've been plotting against the ruling party.
Are you sure about that?
Yep.
You don't sound sure about that.
I've got evidence. Well, don't interrogate me, mate.
You don't sound sure. I've turned the tables. See, I'm winning. You don't sound sure about that. Where am I?
We've got credible information. You're probably in a cell like the start of Callan years ago.
Well, you tell me where I am. I don't know where I am.
Oh, do you know what? I give up with this guy. I was only ringing you to quiz you on Linux.
Idiot. See? You can't. You cannot. I am the best liar. And, hang on a minute. Alan and Keith, I will come to you, I promise. I've not forgotten you. 0344 499 1000. If you want to phone in and interrogate me, no one will be able to break through my Tony Mustafa story. But... Who's this, Mark? Great. The James Whale and Ash show, followed by this. Oh, dear. You don't come on and run down the previous presenters. Mark, listen. When there is... Did you listen to the James Whale and Ash show? Listen, it's been a long time since he's been on national radio, OK? He needs to warm up, and that's fine. He just needs to warm up. That's absolutely fine, Mark. Come on. 0344 499 1000. I'm going to go to a break now.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Good evening. My name is Tony Mustafa. I am a computer engineer from just outside Birmingham. I have no idea why I'm here. Please, I'm begging you, let me go. Because my husband... he's gone loco. Will be terrified if I don't make contact with him soon. Boom. You can't see... I've got a wedding ring on. See, I was going to say I wasn't married, but then I remembered I've got a wedding ring on. But now I've just gone a little bit loco, and I've made it a bloke that I'm married to, because you can. admittedly, it depends who's got me prisoner. Now, I've said a bloke because I'm assuming it's not Islamic terrorists that've got me, because that... Ooh. They would toss me off the top of a building. So you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. But maybe I'm... Anyway, listen, the guy has just shot the fella next to me in the knee before he even asked him a question. They're loco. I'm going loco. I'm going rogue. Seriously. 0344 499 1000. Alan and Keith, I promise I will come to you in a bit. And another reason I don't like TV, right, is when did adverts get, like, really rubbish? I'm deliberately not watching the John Lewis advert because I don't understand how the John Lewis advert is now a part of our Christmas tradition. Christmas tradition is here in Slade in the shops the first time. I was in Costa today and they played E17, Stay Another Day. I thought, Christmas. Buying the advent calendar, putting the... those are traditions, right? Those are nice Christian traditions, right? Get over it, guys. It's a Christian country. What are you going to do about it? Oh, that. But but suddenly the John Lewis advert is part of the Christmas tradition. And I'm not buying into it. I'm not buying into it. I'm not one of those that says, Christmas starts too early. It can't start early enough for me. In fact, Matt Haig is coming in tomorrow night, who's written The Boy Called Christmas and the new book, The Girl Who Saved Christmas. He's coming in tomorrow at the top of the show. And I'm sure we will be celebrating Christmas. Not literally, not with turkey or anything, but it can't go. But the John Lewis advert, for me, and so I'm deliberately not watching it. I know it's a boxer dog on a trampoline, and I know that because I saw a picture of it in the newspaper, and I've seen people tweeting spoofs of it on Twitter. And that's all I know. As soon as I see the shot of the trampoline, I'm out of the room. I'm not watching it. But I had the misfortune of seeing another Christmas advert on television. And if they're advertising with us here on Talk Radio, then everything I'm saying is, of course, incredibly ironic and my tongue is in my cheek. But it was an advert and it went on for about 5 minutes, right? And it was being sung by comedy vacuum James Corden, right? And it was for Sainsbury's. And it was awful. I just didn't. It went on, and I know this show is supposed to be celebratory and embrace things and all of that, and that's great, right? But this advert was too long. It was tedious. What the hell is that man do? That man is rich enough, right? He shouldn't be doing people like me out of voiceover jobs, right? He just shouldn't be. And it went on, and it went on, and it went on, and then just when you think it's over, it does one of those finishes. There's a brilliant... I'll see if I can find it after past, right? There is a brilliant Dudley Moore sketch. Have you heard this, Catherine? Dudley Moore sketch where he's playing the piano, and it's a song, and it's about 3 minutes long. This is how I remember it. I've not heard it for years. But every bar, you think it's the ending... But then he doesn't... It's really hard to explain. I'll try and find it. It's genius. Utter genius. Well, this advert was like that. You think it's coming to an end, and then it just goes on and on and on. And it's ridiculous. So that's why I don't watch TV. And I sound like I'm being all grumpy and all Scroogey. I'm not at all, because I love Christmas. I cannot wait for Christmas. I cannot wait for Christmas. 0344 499 1000. Let's do these calls, and then I'll tell you something else that happened to me over the weekend. Keith!
Hello.
Hello, Keith.
I just want to say thanks very much for, obviously, pictures last night.
For what?
For, I come and met you before your show last night.
Keith. I did a show last night in this wonderful place. What was it called? The Bear?
The Bear Club.
The Bear Club in Luton. And Luton, of all places. This club is the most beautiful club I think I've ever been in. Did you get a glimpse of it inside, Keith?
I did, yeah. I've been there before as well. So,
it is absolutely incredible in there. It's stunning. It's done beautifully. And I did a little show there. Thank you to everyone who came. And Keith came with his wife and his, were there 4 kids or 5 kids?
4 kids. 4 kids.
And you came and had a little picture taken before because you couldn't get a babysitter.
Oh, yeah, I had tickets, but I couldn't get a babysitter because my youngest son's autistic, so it's hard to get.
And is that mean that no one wants to babysit him, or just that you need someone with extra skills?
I need someone that would spend 3 or 4 months,
right,
getting him getting used to them before I could leave him. So
that must. Do you ever get to go out, you and the missus?
No, last time we went out was your show in Luton Library.
Oh God, I'm sorry. Well, let's hopefully you get to go to a good show.
No, that was good in Luton Library. That was a good show.
And you can't make it to St Albans next week. Same problem.
No, exactly. No, yeah, it's one of them things. But we appreciated what you done. You took your time out to have a picture with us, and that was good enough for us.
It was very nice to meet you in a very cold, dark car park. And nice to meet all your kids. You got very beautiful kids.
And on another note, computer games. I've just bought a Mega Drive console thing.
Yes.
The older ones from Argos.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I say that now? Or
we can say Argos.
Oh God, yeah, okay. Argos is pretty good. Sonic the Hedgehog's pretty good. £39.99.
Is this one of these ones that's like preloaded with loads of games?
Yes, yeah, it's very good. Mortal Kombat. I keep getting beat on Mortal Kombat.
Well,
when I was 12, I could annihilate Mortal Kombat. Now I can't.
Are you a button basher?
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
that's the way to be. Have you seen the film Man vs. Snake?
No.
Oh, mate, watch it. If you're like an old school video gamer, like I am, you'll love it. It's about this guy who gets 1 billion points on an old arcade cabinet in 1983. It takes 36 hours of playing, and it's brilliant. He's coming on the show tonight. The guy that did it.
Right. So put that on the list then.
Put that on the list. Well, Keith, I'm glad. I'm sorry you didn't get to see the show. But
no.
I'm glad you got to come
hopefully.
along. Nice one, man. We'll let's see if we can sort something out. It'll be really nice.
Okay, lovely. Thanks for your time.
Yeah. Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I did a show last night. And the Bear Club, this is what it's called, isn't it? In Luton. It's absolutely beautiful. You know Luton. You know. I worked in Luton for a few years. But this club is, it was absolutely stunning. I was blown away when I walked in. Thank you to everyone who came and saw it last night. Here's the thing, right? There was a gentleman called Patrick and his partner, whose name I cannot remember. They came all the way from Dublin. They flew from Dublin to come and see me dick around in a club in Luton. And I was there and I was going, oh... They came and, I do these things and I stick around and meet people afterwards, and even though I find it terrifying talking to people. But I do it because I think people have made an effort to come out and see you and putting money in your pocket. The very least you can do is go and look them in the eye and shake their hands. And, he'd come all the way from Dublin, and I was saying, gosh, I need to do something to make this special. And he had a CD, so I couldn't give him a CD, and I had nothing to give him. So he went home disappointed, I guess. I don't know. But we're doing another one in St Albans. And it's a show, Iain Lee versus Radio. You can buy a live CD of it, guys, if you go to gofasterstripe.com. And it was a show that I did last year, and I thought I'd resurrect it and do a couple of shows this year, just because a nice guy called Adam got in touch and said, you come and do it at my comedy clubs. And I thought, it's an old show, so loads of people will have seen it. And I did it in Luton before, and loads of people came. So I kind of crammed in loads of new bits and took out some old bits. And then when I started, I said, right, who saw the show last year? Only 6 people put their hands up. What a waste of my time that was. Anyway, it was all right. I think I know 2 people walked out halfway through. Did you spot that? 2 people walked out halfway through. That much I know. And someone sent me a tweet saying, I hope the microphone picked up what they were saying. I don't know what they were saying, but I guess maybe they didn't enjoy it. But the other 5 people stayed in the room. So that's got to be good, hasn't it? Hasn't it? This is Tony Mustafa on Talk Radio. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. Caddick, you're on after this.
Late night conversation worth losing sleep over. Iain Lee.
On air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Yes, Alan.
Hip, hip, hip.
Good evening.
How are you, Tony?
I'm hot, and I wonder why you've got me here.
Well, let's just put it this way. You were captured in the cover of darkness.
Well, yes, but what do you want with me? I'm just, as I told you, I'm just an ordinary, humble computer IT man.
I think we think you're lying through your teeth.
Who are we?
The other captors and me.
Yeah, the other. Well, who are you? What's your name? Just tell me your name. Show me some humanity.
We're linked to the presidency.
What, the President Trump?
We're part of his staff.
What have I done to upset President Trump?
By voting for Clinton.
Well, no, but you must have me confused. I'm a British citizen. I can't vote.
Your vocal power is given to you by Boris Johnson.
I've never met Boris Johnson. I've literally no idea what you're talking about.
Sayonara.
Is that when you kill me then? He's hung up. He's hung up. He's hung up badly, of course, as only Alan Caddick could do. He's hung up badly. That was him committing suicide, wasn't it? That was him doing Harry Carey. That was a very confusing scenario that we just took part in, wasn't it? That was strange. But you know, that's what happens. 0344 499 1000. I had a strange encounter on Twitter over the weekend, and I will talk about it because he's going to come on the show at some point. I invited him on the show. Where I was on, I did Sky News. I made a decision over the weekend, and it's really hard to stick to it, right? And I've broken that rule this evening. But I made a semi-decision that on Twitter, if you listen to the podcast I did with Scroobius Pip, we kind of talked about this a bit, right? But where he says he would sometimes go on Twitter and slag off bands and stuff, and then he realised, he thought about, he's got, you know, all these followers and stuff. Wouldn't it be nice, instead of slagging off people, just to say nice things about, you know, say instead of saying, oh, I hate this band, he could say, oh, I love this band, you know, and kind of twist like that. And I've been thinking about that. It's kind of planted a seed in the back of my head. And so I'm considering the idea of, on Twitter, only saying, on Twitter, not being negative, right? Not being negative. And I completely failed tonight because I slagged off that Sainsbury's advert, right? But it was working yesterday. I did Sky News yesterday. And it was all very nice, me and Ann Diamond, and we got on. I didn't say anything too contentious. And of course, the usual idiots come out and have a go at me and call me a left-wing liberal and all of this stuff, which I am. And then there was a gentleman on there, who just kind of attacked me for no reason whatsoever. Said I'd been misheard something, I think, and went in for the attack, as it's so easy to do on Twitter. And of course, my initial reaction is to go, up yours! And I didn't, because I knew the bloke, knew him. And I worked with him a couple of times about 20 years ago. And I think we spoke on Twitter a couple of years ago, but I might be wrong. But I certainly met him, and he's a comic, and he was always a thoroughly decent chap to me. And as we do, you know, in our careers, when we work with someone a long time ago, every now and then we just kind of look, see, oh, I wonder what they're up to. Oh, and I've kept a little eye on his career and stuff, and he was doing very, very well for himself. And so he sent me this thing, and so instead of snapping back, as I would normally do, I kind of went in with an olive branch, and I mean, genuinely, it confused me. And I kind of asked him what he was doing, and he didn't respond to me, and he responded to some other people, and there was another couple of mean tweets and stuff, and it was really genuinely head-scratching moment. And then I kind of started looking at he does a blog and a vlog, and I watched one of his episodes of his vlog and stuff, and it was really interesting. And then I started to piece together, and someone sent me a message, actually, on Twitter saying, oh, he's had a bit of bad luck recently in personal life and career. It's like, ha. And I joined the dots, and I realised he was going through, or he had at least gone through, a thoroughly rotten, miserable time. He'd lost a job, a while ago, and, relationships and things like that. And I'm not going to say too much because it's not my place to. And when he comes on, he may talk about it. And so I kind of continued, not love bombing him, that's a little bit extreme, but just not saying anything rude about him or unpleasant, and sending him a few messages saying, I'm just a bit confused why you're doing this, man. I thought, I thought we got on and stuff, and I hope everything's okay. And a couple of people on Twitter, as they do, kind of piled in and were sending him a little bit of abuse. And I was like, well, no, let's not do that. Let's thank you, but let's pull back. Anyway. And this shows how effective this can be, right? He kind of then sent a couple of conciliatory tweets yesterday, and then today sent me an apology. A public apology on Twitter. That's a tough thing to do, man. That's a really tough thing to do, to say sorry in public. And I've had a couple of people do it on Twitter who've jumped to the wrong conclusion about something or misinterpreted, I said. And he said sorry, and I just thought, yeah, that there we go. That takes a lot. And then he followed me on Twitter, and I sent him a little message, and I said, look, I'm glad that that you said sorry. I really appreciate that. And he sent another apology on the private message, and we were just chatting and stuff. And he's been having a really rotten time, and I just happened to be. I don't know if he remembers that I met him 20 years ago. I don't know, but he's in a similar sort of business. He's a comedian, and sometimes when I'm having a bad time, relationship-wise or work-wise or depression-wise or car crash-wise or whatever, if I see people who are in a similar career to me, or who perhaps started out a little bit before me or a little bit later than me, I can make them the targets of why my life has gone to SH1T. Why my, things are going bad for me. Then I hate them more. I hate them because of it. And he's struggled with depression, I think, and mental health, and all this kind of stuff. And that's not giving away anything private, because he's mentioned it in public. And I just thought, where am I going with this? I'm not going anywhere with it, really. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm not trying to say anything. There is no conclusion to it. He's going to come on the show maybe next week at some point, and we will have a good old laugh about that and how stupid we were. And he wants to come on and talk about mental health and stuff like that, and we will, and we'll find out what's going on for him in his life. And there is no conclusion to that story, I suppose. I guess just the thing that I take away from it is, what do I take away from it? Just not to jump in at full pelt with all my guns ablazing when someone has a go at me. And that's a really hard thing to do. And the next person that tweets me abuse, I might lose my rag and tell him to F off or whatever. I'd like to think not, but I might do. But I guess what it has taught me is maybe just to think before tweeting. In fact, that was the thing when I was driving into Sky that morning at 5:30 in the morning. I was thinking, I was trying to come up with a new Twitter strategy for me, and it would be, God, I couldn't put this into practice, but it would be that before I send a tweet, I think about it for 10 minutes before, so you don't. Oh, phone box has just crashed. Hang on a second. So that I don't send it instantly. So I just have a tweet, think about it. 10 minutes later, is it funny? Is it mean? Is it a little bit unpleasant? In fact, I tell you, that's what I'm going to try and do. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of the week. Right? That's what I'm going to try and do for the rest of the week. And if I fail, you're allowed to correct me. I'm going to try and only send positive messages on social media. How's about them apples? Should we give that a go? Because Twitter is thoroughly unpleasant. And someone sent me a link today on Twitter to really just a mean piece about someone who works on another radio station who's sort of a friend of mine, sort of. And I read it, and I just thought, this is really mean. And then I looked at the people underneath it who'd liked it, and it's all like people like, you know, Hopkins and all these people had liked it. And I just thought, oh, isn't that horrible? And then I read her timeline. I just thought, oh, this is horrible. So, all right, this is what we'll do. This is what I'm going to try and do for the week. And you're welcome to come aboard and join me, dear listener. Let's try 0344 499 1000. If you want to call in, it's a phone-in show. Just remembered. Let's try for this week to only send positive messages on Twitter. Already I can feel my anxiety levels rising. It's so easy to go on there, as I did tonight, say, this advert's rubbish. Where does that take us, though? What does that create? It doesn't create, does it? It doesn't do anything. I'm slagging off the work of James Corden, and I'm slagging off the work of, you know, how many people worked on that advert? 200 people. It's an animation, so a lot of people would have worked on that. I'm slagging their work off. Turns out it was, I think someone told me that the story is written by a 7-year-old kiddie. So I'm slagging off a story by a 7-year-old kiddie. Well, that's not big. That's not clever, is it? Shall we try it? Are you in? Are you prepared to have a go? And between now and the end of Friday's show, I mean, I don't really use Facebook in that way. But between now and the end of Friday's show, on Twitter and Facebook, should we try and only say, like, positive things? And I don't mean be stupid, like, you know, you tweet, hey, someone, your hair looks nice. Well, you can say that if you want, but just not negative things. Does that make sense? 0344 499 1000. We call you back. Who's in?
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. Yes, Rashid.
This is Captain Rashid from the Anonymous Arab Political Group. We got your name, Mustafa.
Yeah, I'm Tony Mustafa. Please, why are you keeping me here?
Where was you captured?
I have no idea. All I remember was I was in London, I was in Waterloo, and suddenly I find myself in this dark room. Please, what is going on?
Now you're in the desert, my friend.
What?
You are in Jordan, in the desert.
What is going on? Please, honestly, I have no idea what you've got me here for.
I listened to your show. Cut with the bullshine, my friend. What? The bullshine.
What are you talking? My name is Tony Mustafa. I am a computer expert from Birmingham.
My friend, relax. You smoke cigarette?
No, I don't. I don't smoke cigarettes. No.
Have chocolate, white chocolate, milk chocolate.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Relax, my friend. Don't worry. Drink tea.
Thank you.
My friend. Some question for you.
Yes.
Your first name, please.
I've told you. My name is Tony.
Tony. Your second name, please. Very interesting name.
Mustafa.
Where are you from? Your background?
I'm from Birmingham.
Where is your father from? You have father?
Yes, I have father. I have a father.
Where's he from? Where's he from?
My father is from Birmingham.
Where's his grandfather come from?
His grandfather comes from Pakistan.
Pakistan, very good. I know very well Pakistan culture.
Good.
This name, Mustafa, you know meaning of it?
Of course I do.
What's it mean, my friend?
What does Mustafa mean?
Yes, my friend.
Why are you asking me all these questions?
I don't believe you are Tony Mustafa. Enough with that bullshine. Enough with the bullshine.
Well, do you want me to answer the question or not?
Yes, what is Mustafa meaning?
It means the chosen one.
My friend, the accent, you said you're from Birmingham.
Yeah, that's correct.
My friend, you're very good. Very good, my friend. You eat many kebabs, my friend.
Thank you very much indeed. You see, honestly, right, I will be the best liar on the SAS programme. You cannot get anything past me. I'm brilliant. And this is it, right? If you're going to tell a lie, it's got to be founded in some kind of reality, and you've got to know all the outroutes of that lie. You have to. I'm good. If anyone wants to question me, my name is Tony Mustafa. I'm a computer engineer from Birmingham. I'm married. It's a gay marriage. Please, let me go. 0344 499 1000. Yes. Yes, Craig.
Hey, Ian.
Yes.
This Twitter thing's a good idea, you know.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Should we give it a go?
When I started, I trained myself not to stick anything negative written down.
Yeah.
Because it can be misinterpreted.
Yeah.
You've got to read it in a monotone voice, so that the person, you can then see how someone else will interpret it the wrong way.
Yeah.
But even if someone does, have a go, if you haven't intended it to be negative, then you're still happy in yourself that it wasn't meant that way after all. So Periscope's a bit different. You can, especially if they're asking for a roasting in their title. But yeah, I don't stick anything.
Hang on. So you go, but you can be negative on Periscope.
Yeah, well, they have roasts, don't they?
What?
Someone will say roast me, and then you just go in there, and it's them saying roast me.
So people go on Periscope. I still don't quite understand Periscope. People go on Periscope and they start streaming themselves, and they're doing it because they want people to abuse them.
Yeah, the title would be roast me.
Now, what is that sadism or masochism? I always get the two confused.
Well, if you're roasting, I guess you're a sadist, and if you're receiving the roast, you'll be the masochist.
Okay, wow, that's incredible.
But even if on Twitter, if I want to say something and I'm really wound up, I'll write it, but I'll never send it. I've had the enjoyment. Yeah, I've done that before with emails. I've written emails that I have absolutely no intention of sending. It's therapeutic. It'll help you deal with your anger or whatever. But you don't have to then, you don't get anything, you haven't done anything negative to the person themselves. It's like queuing in supermarkets. I have to train myself not to worry about queuing. Oh, here we go. Look, I mean, so now I've just been sent... okay. So the link that was sent to me by someone, the originator of the link has now sent it to me. They follow me, and they've sent it to me. And I've read it. I don't normally click on links, but I read it because I was bored, and I found it quite unpleasant. I found it quite... a nasty attack on someone who's not a friend of mine with a very small f. And now this person has sent it to me, so I just ignore it, don't I? Yeah, because it's not going to help the person that's being attacked. Hang on a minute. Okay, this is awkward, because I think he's listening to the show now. The person that sent it, or the person that's being attacked? The person that sent it, I think, is listening to the show now. So this is the equivalent of me being negative on Twitter, because he's... Oh, God, it's so confusing being nice! Well, no, if he's listening to you... Yeah. That's his... He's invited... You've not done anything. He's gone to you. Whereas if you reply, you've gone back to them. Okay. So if he is listening, he could call in and justify himself, couldn't he? Yeah, he could... Yes, he could do that, couldn't he? Whereas you haven't done anything negative. If you reply, that's a negative. Yeah. But talking about something you've received isn't a negative. Yeah. It works. It helps you calm down. I think it will. What if I'm feeling ill, depressive ill? I guess I don't really... Don't reply to anything. No, I don't share that stuff on Twitter? No, sharing is fine. But as a public figure, you're going to get some idiot giving you harassment. Yeah. If you can't handle that, don't share it at the time. You could say, yesterday I was down, if you're feeling a bit better the day after. Yes. Because you can take it's not fair that you get harassed. It's horrible. Anyone that's got a public, I've got 30 followers. Nobody's going to care about me. But you've got 50,000 now or something? Block and mute. I really enjoyed muting people. Mute is the best, because they don't even know. No, they just carry on shouting in the wind. And they can be shouting at you for years. That's the best one. It's weird, isn't it? Right, okay. No, when people say you ought to read it, no, it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
Like with comedians and...
Oh, Craig? He's back.
And then they forced to look at them all then.
Yeah. Okay.
If you can do it, I think you'll feel a bit healthier afterwards.
I'm gonna go for it, Craig. I'm gonna try. Gosh, isn't it the fact that a 43-year-old man is even considering this as being something bold and brave to go for 5 days without without tweeting negativity, without putting negativity on social media. I feel myself a little short of breath, which means that there is a certain anxiety about the prospect of having that toy taken away. I don't know. We'll give it a go. 0344 499 1000. James!
All right, mate.
Hello, James. How you doing?
I'm doing good, mate. You?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, James. What you got for us?
I'm just saying it. No, just throwing up to say hello, bro.
What you been up to this weekend?
Just walking the dogs.
For those
who
missed it, you're the gentleman that lives in a tent.
Yes, I am.
Getting a bit cold now, isn't it, James?
It is, but it's all right, mate.
You're all right. You sound a bit down.
No, not at all. Not at all, fella.
Okay. You don't sound as sparky as you did last week.
No, it's been a long day today.
Why?
So I'm a bit tired.
Why has it been a long day?
Just walking the dogs, sorting out my tents, sorting out other things, trying to get doctors and crap like that.
Can I ask a question? Do you mind if I ask a question that several people put to me after the last time you were on?
Go for it.
How can you afford, and where do you charge your mobile phone?
There's a nice lady in the library called Deirdre, and she lets me charge up my phone while I'm sitting there reading books.
And how can you afford it?
It's a pay-as-you-go.
There we go. You see, that answered that question very nicely. Thank you, James. I hope you don't mind me asking that. It was just...
No,
several people were I think, questioning whether you were genuine or not.
There's a weird misconception that everyone who lives on the streets is a pisshead or they take drugs.
Yeah.
And no. Not like that, man.
No. No, I know.
I can't get held because, as I said, I'm not mentally ill, I'm not on drugs, I don't drink, I've got 2 dogs. No one's going to take me with 2 dogs. So
I do still struggle to... I do still find that hard to believe that in this country, in 2016, that there's a bloke living in a tent. And I'm not saying I don't believe you, I believe you totally. What I'm questioning is how I struggle to accept that Britain won't hand.
So many homeless projects, so many housing centres. Every town you go to, right, they've got to have a homeless person's unit or a housing centre.
Yeah.
You go there because...
It's the second time you've done that.
Sorry.
That's all right, don't worry.
I do apologise to the listeners. They won't take you.
Yeah.
So, as I said, I travel around, I do fruit picking, and where I work, where I can get it. And that's just it, man. I've got 2 lovely dogs. I can pack up my tent when I want and go for a travel. Find a bit of farm work. I would shuffle horse if I could.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I like it sometimes. You can pick up and just go where you want, mate.
All right, James. Well, I'm coming up to a break, so I've got to say goodbye. Thanks for calling in.
All right then, Rob.
Anytime, man. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Have a nice night.
Take care. Bye-bye. 03, Russell, come to you after the news. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. I'm really itching to go on Twitter and say something negative to someone, and I can't. So I'm going to mute them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mute them. And the negativity will leave my body that way. 0344 499 1000. I'm Tony Mustafa. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Talk Radio.
0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give me a call. You can either try and crack me with your questioning, and we can talk about being positive online. This is Talk Radio.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
The wild man of late night radio is back.
Differently interesting nocturnal emissions from a legend of late night radio. Iain Lee, on air and off the leash.
On Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Oh, 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. You can. At midnight, Tim McVeigh, not that one, is going to be joining us from the United States of America. And thank you to everyone who recommended that I watch the film Man vs. Snake. So, if one or two people recommend a film, I don't watch it. But loads of you did, and I watched it. It's on Netflix. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And so we'll be talking about that. It'll get a bit geeky, guys. It'll get a little bit geekier than normal. Until then, and during then as well, and after then, you can call in about pretty much anything that you want. We've talked about TV being rubbish, about being more positive on social media, about me being called Tony Mustafa and how I can withstand any questioning. And it's very, very easy to do. But you know the score, guys. You can call in about anything. God,
the worst thing that's happened as a result of Trump being elected is he's killed British phone-in radio, hasn't he? All this weekend. Oh, God. Trump. Thank God for Andy J and his car and gadget show. Honestly, I was driving around and I was just... LBC was Trump. One presenter finished after an hour of Trump. The next presenter came on with another hour of Trump. I went to Radio 4, it was Trump. So I put on Andy J, and he was talking about drones. It was brilliant. He had a drone. But it's just all over. Listen, that's not to say you can't call in to talk about Trump. Of course you can. You can call in about anything you want. But you better have something bloody good to say about the man. You better have something a little bit different. In fact, I don't think anybody, after the last 3 or 4 days, on all these different speech stations, I don't think anybody has anything new or original to say about the man. No one does. People were doing the phone-in Saturday afternoon. So it was a man finishing on LBC saying, the hour was, how do you think Trump will impact on Britain? I don't know. And then the next hour, and this is where I turned off, how do you talk to the children about Trump? Oh, Jesus, come on. And it's interesting. It's interesting because I had the kids... I was taking the kids to school and stuff the morning that we got the election result. And I came downstairs and I turned on the radio and it said, and Trump has won. And I went, oh, no. And the boys went, what? I said, Trump has won. And they said, oh, is that a bad thing? And I realised this was a pivotal moment because you're hearing about kids having nightmares and stuff like that. And I thought, actually, they don't need to know. I went, well, I wouldn't have voted for him. And he said some very, very rude things. But everything will be all right. These things always work out. It'll be all right, you know. And 60 million Americans voted for him. That can't be bad. Because there's no point worrying them about it. So I did a little bit of the, oh, no. What's wrong? Oh. And then they said, well, if he said so many rude things, why did people vote for him? Good question. Can't answer that one, guys. But so... I don't want to outright ban all talk of him. I'm aware I've just spoken about him for 5 minutes. But if you're going to call in about the president-elect, you better have something decent and original to say. That's the challenge, right? If you're hovering by a phone thinking, this is talk radio, goddammit, I have to phone up and talk about the American presidential election. Just think for a second. Is what you're saying a unique perspective? If it is, oh, beautiful. 03444991000. I bet it ain't. But you know the score, guys. You can call in about absolutely anything you want. And it's sort of between about 11:15 and 12:15 is when the phone calls die down a little bit. So if you're thinking, I might want to phone up and take part in this nonsense, then now is an excellent time to call. And we call you back. Russell!
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine, Russell. We've not spoken for ages. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, happy Christmas.
Well, two things. One thing. It's Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Because it's and this is one of my bugbears. Is when people say Happy Christmas and a Merry New Year. No, it's Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, isn't it?
Well, we just say happy and happy. We don't say the Merry.
What's the song?
Well,
there's a song, isn't there?
Yeah.
Is the song...
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. It's not We Wish You a Happy Christmas, is it?
No. Stand correct.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to play some Leon Russell this weekend. It kind of tonight. It may have slipped past a lot of people's knowledge that Leon Russell died. Do you know Russell? Do you know who Leon Russell is? No, and that's not a bad thing in the slightest, right? Leon Russell was a studio musician. He played on loads of Beach Boys records and all these kind of things. He was also an absolutely brilliant songwriter, and he wrote Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? Said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby. I love you. I really do. He wrote that. Yeah, you don't sound impressed. You don't sound impressed by my singing.
I am very impressed.
Yeah, well, and he died this weekend, and he died the same day as Leonard Cohen, and everybody will have kind of ignored it.
Yeah,
fortunately,
it was overshadowed by.
It was overshadowed.
Cohen.
Yeah, he was good. Anyway, Russell, that's not what you've called in for.
Bad news.
Go on, what's wrong?
I got bullied out of my workplace, and now I have no job.
Hey, now well, don't mention the company. This wasn't the radio station, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What happened, man?
They were jealous of me because I was picking up more viewers, more listeners.
Yeah.
And two people gangs up on me. They started telling me how bad I was, how disabled I am, what I can't do, and they were just completely out of line. They were so bad. I actually video recorded it.
Is there a way of getting that video to me?
I will send it to you.
Are you able to email it?
Yeah.
Because I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Do you know my email address, Russell?
No, I don't.
Do you want me to give it to you now, or do you? If you tweet me,
yeah,
I'll send you my email address. How about that?
Thank you so much.
What kind of stuff were they saying to you?
They were telling me, "Oh, you're a retard," and then they were talking about my mother. It got so bad, I wanted to just run away from home because I knew if I told my parents, I'd upset them. And thank God I had the courage to show my mum this week I showed her, and she was so upset.
I bet she was, because you're a boy.
Was I?
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Hey, don't apologise for that.
It's so bad. Well, I was so good at the radio.
Yeah, I know you had I know a lot of my listeners listen to you as well. So there's no accounting for taste. But how did you end up out of a job then? Was the bullying so much that you quit? Or what happened?
Yeah, I told him I'm not coming back. My father came in with me. He showed the manager. The manager said, "I don't care." He literally said, "I don't care."
Right. And was it other presenters that were bullying you? Producers?
Yeah.
Other presenters?
Other presenters.
Wow.
In the studio.
Oh. And you've got it. You've got it on video.
Yeah.
Have you? And I'm just thinking out loud. Have you thought about going to the police?
I went to the Gardaí. The Gardaí, they're known as guards over here.
Yeah.
I went to them, and they said get a solicitor. So I showed my mum, and my brother, he's a guard. He's a policeman over here.
Yeah.
We call them guards. He's a guard, and he said that I should go and get a solicitor.
Oh, Russell, man, I'm sorry.
I want to bring the whole company to court. I raised €480 for the radio station, and 2 weeks later, they kicked me out.
I'm really sorry, Russell. That sounds.
I love that radio.
Yeah, I know you did.
I want to work for you. I love to work on your show.
Well, Russell, I can't offer you. I'm afraid I can't offer you a job on my show. That that's not a realistic option. So let's. I'm sorry about that, but I've got to be honest about that.
Yeah.
Send me the video, man. I'd like to have a look at it. And
thank you. There's 2 videos.
Okay. Well, you tweet. Send me a tweet. I'll send you my email address. Yeah. You send them over. I don't know what I can do, Russell. But I'd love to have a look at them.
All my listeners, all your listeners and my listeners, I'm sorry that I left, but I had to.
What would be the ideal situation? What outcome would you like to see come out of this?
See them, me bring them to court and get justice, because there's no bullying shouldn't be allowed, especially on me. I have a head injury. I'm not able to. Not, and they're all able-bodied people, and they're bullying me. There were 2 of them.
Yeah.
One of me.
Yeah. Well, even that is unacceptable behaviour in any workplace.
I did it all voluntary.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and
but the love of the music, the love of the town.
There's no other community station or hospital radio or anything nearby that you could perhaps go and volunteer at?
No, there is in 40 miles away.
Right, and that's impossible to get to, is it?
Well, I'd have to live there.
Yeah. Oh man, I know you are. You're not going to do anything stupid, are you?
No, I thought about it.
Yeah, I bet.
But no, I have the new PlayStation here.
Oh, so hang on a minute. You got a new PlayStation?
Yeah, the new PlayStation Pro.
Well, so you can have a go on that.
Yeah.
It is, and I don't know how easy it is. There will be people listening who will know better than I will. But it is possible to set up your own station. If you've got a half-decent computer...
I'd love to set up my own radio station.
But there is...
would mean the world.
There are ways, and I don't know what the legalities would be in terms of music, and I don't know the technical problems, but, computers can do anything these days. There would be a way of I'm sure, streaming your own show from a computer.
Yeah. So I'd have to buy a laptop.
Well, you'd have to have a computer. Yes, that would be the downside. There's me assuming that everybody, of course, has a decent computer, which is a little bit arrogant of me.
I don't have computers. No. I have PlayStation, and that will do me.
Yeah, you won't be able to do it on a PlayStation. No. Oh man, listen, send me that video. I'd really like to have a look at it.
Yeah.
Russ, I don't know what to say, man. There's nothing I can say, but I'm thinking of you. I lost a job last year. I got booted out of a radio station a year and a day ago. It was yesterday. It was the anniversary of it, and I was devastated, man. I was devastated. It wasn't the same thing. I wasn't being bullied at work, but I felt I was treated unfairly, and I was made to leave a job that I loved doing. I loved it, and I was devastated, and it is devastating. And I also know there's nothing I can say right now that's going to make you feel any better. I'm afraid you just have to get through this.
Can I tell you what's worse?
Go on.
He accused me of touching 3 women.
Oh. Did he? Who did?
Yeah.
The manager or the person that was bullying you?
The person that was bullying me.
And what?
And it's absolutely horrible. My ex-girlfriend, she was born with a half a brain. He accused me of attacking her.
Oh, God. Well, he sounds like a thoroughly unpleasant gentleman. Can you send me that video, Russell? I'd really like to see that video.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, man.
Sorry.
They don't apologise. Nothing to apologise to me for whatsoever. I was exactly the same as you a year ago. Hey, listen, man. Will you give us a call tomorrow and let me know you're all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and send me a tweet. I'll give you my email. Send me that video.
I will do.
All right, man. Hang in there.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ross.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Uncut after-hours conversation for the up-all-night generation. Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. Let's stop and have a song. Just because I feel, I don't really know what to say after that. And Russ, we've got another Russ. I'll come to you in a minute. 0344 499 1000. But Leon Russell, it's all about the Russells, died the weekend. And I interviewed him. And I'm going to try and dig out the interview. I've got it on a hard drive somewhere. And no one knew who he was. No one remembers Leon Russell, right? But he wrote some of the best songs in the world. If you've ever seen him, you'll recognise him. Long white hair and a really long beard. He looks like a fat member of ZZ Top. And he was a session musician, and he played on all Beach Boys records. He played on a couple of Monkey songs. Part of part of the Wrecking Crew, kind of. And then he went on tour with Joe Cocker and wrote Delta Lady for him. But he wrote some of the most stunning songs ever. And I might play him singing. His voice is one of those kind of raspy, swampy voices, but he would sometimes write songs with women in mind. Have a listen to this.
I've been so many places in my life and time. I've sung a lot of songs, I've made some bad rhyme. I've acted out my love on stages with 10,000 people watching. But we're alone now and I'm singing this song for you. I know your image of me is what I hope to be. I've treated you unkindly, but darling, can't you see? There's no one more important to me. Darling, can't you please see through me? 'Cause we're alone now and I'm singing this song for you. You taught me precious secrets of a truth withholding nothing. You came out in front and I was hiding. So much better, and if my words don't come together, listen to the melody for you.
Come on. That is a song, huh? Leon Russell. Seriously, man. You don't know the name and it's a crime. He wrote some of the best songs. Some of the best songs. Remind me, I must dig out that Dudley Moore thing as well that I said I'd play, because I remember it being hilarious. It might be rubbish, I just don't know. 0344 499 1000. I'm Iain Lee, this is Talk Radio.
Late Night Iain Lee. Unfiltered night talk with the original king of unconventional conversation on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
I'm trying to find a clip of Dudley Moore playing a song that never ends, right? And I can't find it anywhere. It's basically, you know, like the endings of songs. It goes dun 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 dun, but then it does it's like 50 different endings of songs all put together in one, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But I can't find it anywhere. Can someone find a link for it and send it to me so I can play it? I remember it being hilarious, very, very clever, brilliant pianist. Dudley Moore had a club foot. I don't know what a club foot is. I know he had a club foot, but I don't know what a club foot is. I'm scared to Google it because I don't know what I'm gonna find. 03 44 499 1000. At 12 o'clock we'll have Tim McVeigh, not that one. Before then we will take your phone calls. Yes, Russ.
Hey up.
Hey up, Russ.
Sorry, I just got you on loudspeaker.
Yeah.
You all right?
I'm all right. You all right?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Why did you start calling us again? Because you made a very big song and dance about the show wasn't for you and you weren't going to listen, and you'd done your piece and then you came back. And it's great you've come back. Everybody's welcome to go away and come back or not come. Well, of course. I was just curious as to what changed.
Well, the last time I called, the reason I stopped calling was we had a bit of disagreement, let's say.
Yeah,
And
but
that
why
was
did
that.
you? And you flounced off. But then why have you come back? That's what I'm curious about. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. It just intrigued me.
Well, we weren't really going to discuss it, Ian. I didn't think you wanted to sort of go back.
No, I don't want to go. But no, I don't want to go back to that. I want to jump forward a little bit, but back a little bit as to just what changed your mind. Why you decided to come back?
Because I enjoy the show. And, you know, at the time, I mean, if you don't want me to call, I won't bother. I'll just talk.
Russ, you're doing it. I didn't say that. I don't know if you heard what I just said. I don't know if you heard what I
felt really
I don't know if you. I don't know. I'm not talking about that. I don't know if you heard what I just said. I said it's great.
You brought it up, so
yes, I know, Russ, and I want you to listen to the words because I said it's great you've come back. I'm really pleased you've come back. I just wondered why you've come back.
I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoy your show. I enjoy having a natter, but...
No, you're putting a button there that doesn't need to be there.
Well, because I thought we were friends again, but...
We're not friends.
I'm just feeling a bit awkward now.
Well,
but radio friends. I don't really...
No, we're not friends. I'm a host and you're a caller. But you're... But Russ... I'm not friends with any of the callers, so don't feel bad about that.
You know what I mean? I'm using the term loose.
Yeah. I'm a host and you're a caller, and you keep putting a but that isn't there. You're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm saying it's great you've come back. It's brilliant. I'm really pleased. That's the third time I've said those words. I was just curious as to why you've come back.
Well, I said I enjoy the show.
Brilliant. I'm glad.
Oh, I've got a few nice subjects to bat around, but I just feel a bit awkward now.
Well, I'm sorry if you feel awkward. There's no reason to. I asked... this is a show where honesty is appreciated. I asked a question. I also said you didn't have to answer it if you didn't want to.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it is fair enough, actually. Yeah. What have you got for us, Russ?
Not me sideways, and I forgot what. Yeah, it was about bad radio and good TV.
Yes.
And good TV shows because someone had rang up saying TV was crap. And I know you didn't want to be negative, but a particular song new song by an artist.
Yes.
It's like this echoes doing my head, and I keep hearing myself.
Hang on a minute. If I press this and then do that, is the echo gone?
Hello?
Is the echo gone?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay,
It's a bit.
no,
it's still there, but I'll manage.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you heard this new album by Paul Simon?
No, I didn't know there was a new album by. I didn't even know Paul Simon was in this country doing concerts. He is.
Yeah, I've only seen the advert, but it's like something about a wristband and you're not coming in, and I'm like,
oh yeah, no, we played that song.
This is like Paul Simon, seasoned musician. Surely he's got a bit more imagination with his lyrics than just waffling on about it. It makes no sense to me. I just heard it. I thought, this sounds crap.
Yeah, but hang on. This is the guy that also wrote 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, which is a bit of fluff.
I mean, I loved his old stuff.
Slip out the back, Jack.
Oh, Garfunkel.
Find a new plan, Stan. Get on the bus, Gus.
Yeah, it just seemed really pretentious. I don't know, the sound to me just a bit.
I didn't. We played it on the show when the album came out, and I wasn't that keen on it. But Paul Simon, I think, is a poet, and I think that he's still able to describe things that we mere mortals could never describe.
Well, I think as well, artists, when they've been around that long and they've got such a reputation, they can get away with what they want to a degree, and people still buy it.
Yeah, well, I think so, but also I do think that Paul Simon, I don't know about this album, but the one before was a masterpiece. I mean, it's got the song on there that you like, Kath, about, is talking to his daughter or something. and it's I think he was about 70 when he recorded it. It's you know a masterpiece written by a 70-year-old. You know, it's someone who realises that they haven't got much longer left on this planet, and it's beautiful.
No, I've not heard much, to be honest, much of his recent stuff. I like the old stuff, him and Art Garfunkel.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a little. Well, you can go wrong sometimes. They did some stinkers.
That Leon Russell, to be honest, I've never heard of him. I've heard the songs that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Baby, that's a cracking tune.
Delta Lady by Joe Cocker. You wrote Delta Lady by Joe Cocker, which is an amazing song. He's brilliant, Leon Russell, brilliant. I interviewed him, and he looks very imposing. And when I interviewed him, he was very old and he's very quiet. It was a really tough interview, and it was a pre-recording. It was really, really tough. And afterwards, I said to his people, "Was that okay? I didn't think he liked me." And they went, "You're joking. We've never seen him be so talkative. That was the best interview he's done in years." And he was that kind of guy. But he was I'm going to find that interview and I'm going to post it online because it was a thrill to meet someone like that.
Oh no, I'll listen to that and I'll look forward to it. What, are you going to play it on the air? Or,
I might play a little bit of it on the air. I might play a couple of minutes of it on the air if I can find it. Russ, thank you for that. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
The radio show for people who know the best part of the day is the night.
Late night Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
0344 499 1000. Midnight, we'll speak to Tim McVeigh, not that one. Let's go to Barry. Evening, Barry. Evening, Barry. What you got for us?
I inadvertently hit on your radio programme for the first time tonight. And I just wondered, when you ask a question, why don't you wait for an answer?
For example?
You were asking, has anybody got anything to say about Trump?
Well, no, that wasn't what I asked, was it?
Okay, well...
What did I ask?
Go on.
What did I ask?
Has anybody got something new to say about Trump?
Correct.
Oh, you're that picky.
Well, it's a big difference between has anybody got anything to say about Trump compared with has anybody got anything new to say about Trump. They're two very distinct concepts.
To say about Trump.
I bet you haven't.
On the other, yes, I have.
I bet you haven't, Barry.
I bet I have.
I bet you haven't got anything new to say about Trump.
Okay, take Trump, add an I and an H, and then see where he will end up.
I Trumper?
Nice try, wrong.
Hit Trump?
Try again.
I know you want me to spell the word triumph, but I don't understand what
triumph is
triumph.
Where he will end up.
What does that mean, Barry? That doesn't mean anything.
It means that Trump, like all the know-alls, say that he will be a disaster, and I suspect that he may well be a triumph.
Okay.
And my question to you was to add a little bit of pedantic nonsense to your show.
Well, the show is nonsense.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly, but I don't understand. When are you going to get to the new... You said you had something new...
What don't you understand,
Barry,
when I explained it so clearly?
Barry, you may have done to... I didn't understand it. You said you had something new to say about Trump. What was it?
You asked if anybody had something new to say about Trump.
Yes, and I'm waiting for you to get to the bit that's new.
And I said that he may well turn up to be a triumph.
Yes.
I think that's new.
Yes, well, it's not new, Barry. Loads...
Okay, in that case, it's nice talking to you. I think I'll delete your programme.
Is that a hit and run? Barry, we were having a conversation.
No, we weren't having a conversation.
No, you weren't. You were delivering a monologue. You were delivering a monologue, and then when you realised you said something that hundreds of people have been saying on phone-in radio for the last 4 days, you got upset and you put the phone down. Very, very poor. I'll give you 2 out of 10.
Hundreds of people haven't said it.
Yes, they have, Barry. Have you not listened to radio over the weekend? I've said it. Barry, I've said it. I said I think he'll probably be okay.
No, triumph.
I know, you're obsessed with this fun word game you've made up.
Because I thought I'd add a little bit of piquancy to your diatribe.
Yes, but it was like a lead balloon, Barry. I wouldn't open with that.
Fine. Okay, fine. So it's a lead balloon. I'll do better if I play you ever again.
Oh, it's gone from you're going to delete my station to a possible you might call in again.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
That was good. Do that again.
No, you do it better than I do.
Okay. Oh! Go on, you do one.
God, no, I wouldn't dare.
You just did. Go on, do another one.
No, it hurts me.
Oh!
Oh, God, you sound like...
Go on.
Vernon Smith Hill.
I sound like what?
Vernon Smith Hill.
Who's Vernon Smith Hill? I don't know him.
Oh, it's another radio presenter.
Vernon Smith Hill?
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean Jonathan Vernon Smith?
I just thought I'd check it out with you.
What?
Northampton Radio.
Oh, yeah, Jonathan Vernon Smith, not Vernon Smith Hill.
I just thought I'd check it and see if you were
What do you mean check it
aware.
I used to work with him. What?
Oh, well, fine. Oh, well, that explains it all.
Oh, you're implying that... Oh, you're implying I'm a homosexual.
No, I didn't know he was.
I don't think he is, but you seem to be...
You know, but he has the same squeaky voice.
You seem to be implying something, Barry. I've got no idea what this phone call's about.
He has the same squeaky voice, and he...
Right.
All he does is gabble.
Right, okay. Well, do you phone up do you phone him up and be miserable to him as well?
No, I'm not miserable. I'm just so poignant.
Do you phone up with unoriginal thoughts that other people have said before? Is that what you normally do?
No, I don't have unoriginal thoughts.
Well, you do.
Okay, well, fine, in that case.
And you don't understand...
I appreciate you listening to my...
Absolute pleasure.
To my unoriginal thoughts.
Absolute
and
pleasure.
I will definitely think about not doing it.
Okay.
Have a good evening.
How do you think the phone call went, Barry? No? Barry? It's gone. Oh dear. No, I wasn't casting aspersions on Jonathan Vernon Smith's sexuality or otherwise, but I just felt that there was an undertone there. He was hinting at something, wasn't he? He was hinting at something. I love it. I've got the Dudley Moore thing. Let's play that first, because that call's left a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. This is genius, right? Listen to this.
little bit of culture on the show.
Ian, you're right.
I'm all right, Leslie.
Good. You know, three of my best favorite musical films.
Yeah. Three of your best favourite musical things, yes.
Films. Yeah. Sweet Charity. Remember Sweet Charity?
Yes, it's got Sammy Davis Jr. in, hasn't it?
Yes.
Good film.
And
Yep.
Shirley MacLaine.
Yep.
And Oliver.
Okay. Take a. I'm trying to think of the song that Sammy Davis Jr.'s. Take a trip and swing with Daddy. He does all that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Can you sing it?
No. I
Go
can't
on.
sing.
Come on.
No, I can't sing.
Come on.
No.
Sing me a little bit of Rhythm of Life. Just a little bit.
No.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I've got terrible voice.
Come on, doesn't matter. No one's listening.
No.
Come on.
No, I don't remember. I would love to sing the Sammy Davis one, but
Sing it.
I can't remember it.
Oh, well, sing any song from Sweet Charity.
No, it's.
You just said it's one of your favourite musicals.
Yeah. I went to picture to see it in the 70s. Yeah, it's been on television a few times, but I haven't seen it for a very long time now.
So it's one of your favourite musicals, but you don't know any of the songs from it.
Well, I used to know a little bit of the Sammy Davis one. Swing to Daddy, take a. I forgot.
Come on.
Anyway,
hang on a minute.
Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly. What? Oh, you like Hello, Dolly?
Yeah.
Do you know any actual songs from Hello, Dolly?
No. But I just love the music.
That's your favourite musical film, and you don't know any songs from Hello, Dolly.
I just love the musical.
You don't know any of the songs.
And the Blues Brothers.
That's 4.
Yeah, I just love them.
You just said 3.
No, I said a few. Well, I meant more than 3.
Okay. Do you know any of the songs from the Blues Brothers? No.
No.
Okay. Wow.
You remember? Do you remember Open All Hours?
Unfortunately, I do. Yes. Gosh, that's a quantum leap.
No, it's they're doing some rerun on the TV now, BBC 2, I think.
Yeah.
Right. You know the shop, right? With Ronnie and Geezer there.
Ronnie and Geezer. Yep.
Yeah.
When you watch films and programmes, does any of the information go into your brain?
It's night work, killing me off.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, right. So Ronnie and what's his name? Yeah, in the shop, yep.
Yeah. I used to drink with the gentleman who owns the shop.
What, the real gentleman or the...
No, the real gentleman who owned the shop, yeah.
Right, okay. Can I ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
Hey Big Spender, I think... Which one is Hey Big Spender in? Is that Hello Dolly? Right. Hey Big Spender, right? Sounds like music or doesn't sound like music?
Hey Big Spender? No, it doesn't sound like music, no.
It doesn't sound like music? Okay.
No.
Rhythm of Life.
With a powerful sight.
Sounds like music or doesn't sound like music?
It sounds like music.
Okay, well, I'm glad we got there.
Rhythm of Life is a powerful sight.
Go on.
Put your rhythm in your rhythm and you...
Go on.
Oh, I won't go on.
Go on.
I can't go on.
Go on.
I don't know the rest.
Make it up.
I don't remember the rest.
Make it up.
Take a swing and swim to Daddy. Is that how it goes?
Yeah, it's kind of. Bit more.
Mm. No, I can't remember the rest.
Do Hey Big Spender.
No, Hey Big Spender is not my type of rhythm.
What is your type of rhythm?
My type of rhythm is sort of rhythmatic stuff. Hey, that song that you played with that lady earlier.
Yeah?
That was a beautiful song.
A bit
That's
fulsome?
my type of stuff, yeah.
A bit. Oh, that was more your kind of stuff. Well, Leslie, I'm glad we got there in the end. I'm glad we found out it sounds like music and doesn't sound like music. Thank you very much.
Talk.
Across the UK, online and on DAB.
We are Talk.
Talk Radio. Give it some lip.
Talk Radio.
Tim McVeigh, star of Man vs. Snake, is coming up after the news. I'm Iain Lee. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
Woman of the country, now I find you longing in your soft and fertile too. And I wish the stars to satisfy your longing for the warmth and tender shelter of my body. Oh, you're mine.
Leon Russell, as a songwriter, had a bigger impact on my life than Leonard Cohen. Considerably bigger. I like a bit of Leonard Cohen. What's it? Dance me till the end of time. Dance me till the end of time. Is that one? Anyway, I don't know. That wasn't a bad Leonard Cohen impression. Dance me, first they come from Berlin. Anyway, Leon Russell had a much bigger impact on my life than Leonard Cohen. He died on the same day as Leonard Cohen, but of course, was overshadowed by Leonard Cohen. But that is absolute genius. Joe Cocker there. Now, loads of you have been getting in touch recommending films for me to watch, and I love it. Thank you very, very much indeed. And a lot of you got in touch and said, Man vs. Snake, Iain. You've got to watch Man vs. Snake. It's on Netflix, right? And I didn't really know anything about it, and I didn't bother to read up on it or look into it. So I ignored your requests, for your suggestions for quite a long time. And then one day, as you do, I was sat in Costa with a couple of hours to kill. I had my computer there, and I went on Netflix, and Man vs. Snake kind of jumped out at me. I thought, oh, I'll have some of that. And then I realised it was about old video games. I went, oh, this speaks my language. Old video games, you know I'm a massive geek. And it is such a brilliant, brilliant film. I cannot recommend it enough. Even if you don't like... Right, if you like old video games, you're going to love it, okay? If you saw The King of Kong, it's got some of the same people in it as that, you're going to love it. But even if you don't like old video games, if you just like a good old-fashioned story of a local boy turned international hero then you're going to love it. It's about this dude called Tim McVeigh, who is the first person ever to get 1 billion points on a video game. I showed a bit of it to my boys, okay, because they play, they're 6 and 4. They play games on the Xbox. And, you see lots of these beautiful old arcade cabinets. And I said to my boys, that's what a video game really is. A big, massive box that's taller than a man. And they said, well, how many games could you play on it? I went, 1. Each massive box had 1 game on it. Luckily, their mum then took them out to go shopping because it suddenly got very, very sweary. But up until that point, it was okay. Anyway, long story short, I've been emailing back and forth with the star of Man vs. Snake, the first person ever to get 1 billion points on a video game. I'm thrilled. It's Tim McVeigh. Good evening, Tim.
Good evening.
How the hell are you doing, man? Are you all right?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm really thrilled to talk to you because I'm a video game geek, and I used to go to the arcades and put in my 10-pence pieces, and I was obsessed by these huge, beautiful machines that were hypnotic. And when did you start getting into video games?
Oh, I was probably about 10 years old. Our local roller skating rink. When I started going there as a kid, they had the old stuff. They had foosball tables and pool tables and stuff like that, pinball machines. And then as the newer stuff came out, as the video games came out, they started getting them. It's like, oh, what's this? Space Invaders and the old Space Wars game, and then just pretty much everything. Every time a new game came out, they got it, and I was always at the skating rink. So it's like, oh, awesome, new video games.
For those who don't know, Space War is quite possibly, there is some debate over it, but it's certainly, if it's not the very, very first, it's the second or third video game that was ever made. Tim, this will make you feel jealous. I've played Space War with the guy that made Space War.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I've also played Pong in Al Acorn's garage. Anyway, I'm showing off, and it's you that should be showing off. Did you ever play Defender?
Yeah, I played Defender. I didn't play it very well. That was one of the games that had a few too many buttons, and maybe it was the complexity of the controls. I was never very good at it.
Who did you... The thing with Defender is you had to have someone you really trusted as your hyperspace button pusher.
Yeah, that's what usually killed me is when I hit hyperspace.
Tell me about Nibbler, because I don't think Nibbler made it over to the UK. I could be wrong, but I don't think it came over here. Describe it for people.
Well, if you're familiar with Pac-Man, it's a maze that looks similar to Pac-Man's screen. It's the black background, the colorful maze. You got all the dots. There's no enemies on the screen. It's just you. You're a small, short snake when you start off. Every time you eat one of the dots, which the programmers I learned called croutons, they're supposed to be radioactive croutons.
Of course.
Every time you eat one of them, I guess the radioactivity makes you grow longer. And the whole object is don't run into yourself. You can't run into yourself, and you have a timer that's counting down the whole time. Even back then, when that game was made in '82, the programmers thought video games were already too violent. So when they designed this game, one of their goals was no violence. They didn't want to kill anything. You didn't have to kill anything, or you weren't trying to avoid being killed. So that's what they came up with. It's a snake that grows longer, and just don't run into yourself and run out of time.
I guess the equivalent that some people might know now, or this is really old, is on mobile phones. There was a game out called Snake, which was kind of the same, but you didn't have the maze to go around.
Yeah, I never played it really back when it was popular, but I'm familiar with it. I've looked at that, and there's so many references to it over the years.
When did you... and it's interesting what you say about them thinking that there was too much violence in video games. I remember I did a documentary years ago, Tim, about old video games. It's on YouTube. And I met the guy that invented Pac-Man. And he was delightful. I'm not sure I believe this story, but I asked him, through the translator, what was the idea for Pac-Man? And he said, the similar thing, I didn't want to make a violent game. And also... It's this thing. I wanted to make a game that girls would like. And girls like shopping and eating. I thought, wow.
I guess I never thought of it that way.
I know, I never thought of it that way, but it was spot on. When did you realise...
I'm sorry, I've got you on speakerphone right now, and Tina McVeigh's sitting here with me, too, my wife, who's also in the film.
Hey, Tina, how you doing?
Hi.
Your husband is an international superstar.
I think my wife's the superstar.
Why is she giggling, Tim?
Because she can't get over it. It's weird when she hears her husband an international superstar, I guess.
Tim, let me speak to Tina for a second. Can I speak to Tina?
Yep.
Tina, can I speak to you?
Sure.
Tina, when did how long have you been married for?
10 years.
10 years.
You don't remember? Wow.
I know that was.
We've been together. We've been together 16. We've been married 10.
Our anniversary was the 22nd of October. 10 years of marriage.
Well, happy anniversary, happy belated anniversary, Tina. At what point in your courtship did Tim say, "Oh yeah, by the way, I was the first dude ever to get 1 billion points on a video game"?
When he moved his stuff from a storage unit in Tennessee, and I came across a box, and I found the key to the city of Ottumwa buried in the bottom of the box, and I said, "What's this?" And he goes, "Oh, it's just something I did when I was a teenager."
Wow. And he didn't, because that would be I mean, this is probably why I wasn't particularly good with girls when I was a teenager, but that would have been the first thing I would have said.
No, he never once brought it up.
And what did you think, Tina? You know, the key to the city is an incredible thing, and I know that there was even a Tim McVeigh Day in January. What did you think, Tina, when you found out that he, to a lot of people, your husband, your boyfriend, then is a hero?
I'm very proud of him. Actually, he now has a second day named after him.
Oh, kind of.
Well,
they named my birthday. Well, actually, it was August the 6th this year. They named it Man vs. Snake Day in Ottumwa, Iowa, as well. So it's not really after me, but I guess it's kind of because of me, the film and the game and everything.
And when is Tim McVeigh Day? Does that still happen? Do you celebrate Tim McVeigh Day in your house, Tim McVeigh?
It's January 28th, 1984 was the actual date. And I always took it as a day, not a revolving annual thing. But there's been a lot of different arcades and different people where we've had little get-togethers, played some games, stuff like that. We had it at Star World's Arcade out in DeKalb, Illinois for a few years. It's been about 3 or 4 years in a row, and I'm not sure what we're doing in January. Nothing's really been set yet, but everybody keeps going, "Yeah, January's coming up. We got to celebrate Tim McVeigh Day." And I just kind of look at it and say, how many times can you celebrate and congratulate me for something I did? It's over.
Oh, what I enjoyed about the film is you're just so down to earth. It's just. Why was it Nibbler? What attracted you to that game, Tim? When did you realise actually you were quite special at it?
Just the speed. When I went into Twin Galaxies, the first time I saw Nibbler, when I walked in, Tomasaki was there from the film. He's the guy from Montana, Tomasaki. He was the original champion when I walked in and seen him. I'd never seen the game. I'd never heard of the game. And just watching it was so fast. And I was always into race cars growing up. I loved racing, and I loved things that were fast. So my two favorite games from back in the golden era of arcade gaming was Nibbler and Robotron.
Yeah.
Just speed and the intensity.
Robotron was an insane game. I found that unplayable.
Honestly, I play hours on it. I got a Robotron and a Nibbler in my living room. Those are the only two cabinets that I have.
And the idea for the billion, and the reason that Nibbler was so good for the billion, am I right? It was one of the only games where you could score 1 billion on it.
At that time, it was the only game. There was a game, I think, called Victory or Victory Road. I forget for sure.
Right.
But the game, it stopped scoring 1 point short of 1 billion. It was a faster scoring game, so you could do it in, I think it was a day, under 24 hours. But the score stopped. When it got to 999,999,999, it just stopped. It wouldn't allow you to roll. It wouldn't allow you to get another point, so you could not score 1 billion on it. And Tomasaki, it was all his idea. I don't know what made him think of it, but he was the one that started the quest to be the first person to score 1 billion. And then Walter Day, from King of Kong and from Man vs. Snake, he owned the arcade that we were playing at, and Walter he was full of encouragement. He always, tried to get us to push ourselves to go farther. And Walter just made this thing, 16 years old, and he just made this thing sound huge.
Yeah.
the first person that broke the 4-minute mile. You know, it doesn't matter how many times it got broke after that. There's only going to be the person that did it once, the first person. We talked about the first person to climb Everest, and you know, you're 16, you're like, yeah, that'd be cool, be the first person, you know. It just, I don't know.
I should, for those who haven't seen the film, I should say Walter Day, and I'm going to try and get him on the show at a later date. He is, he's the guy that owns Twin Galaxies, which is the arcade where you did this. And he's a fascinating character. You get a little bit of his backstory in this movie, and he kind of talks about how he was a bit of a player and a little bit of a ladies' man, and, you know, he went to parties and enjoyed himself and he enjoyed women. And then, he kind of had a spiritual awakening, and he's this sort of become this enlightened, I don't want to say guru because that's too big a word, but this very enlightened spiritual person. And he talks about everybody, you know, talks about your journey, and everyone's on a journey. And he seems like a real kind of father figure to a lot of the gamers. Is that right?
Yeah, he kind of was to us in the arcade. You know, he kind of looked out for us. He gave the kids somewhere to go that helped keep us out of trouble. And, you know, he encouraged us to be the best that we could be. A lot of arcades, I can remember going into some arcades back in the day, and you'd put a quarter in, and if you're really good at the game, you know, you'd be playing it a half hour to an hour later or whatever. I had arcade owners just walk up to me and pull the plug on the machine.
No way.
I was like, what are you doing? And the guy looked at me and says, you got your 25 cents worth. Time to move on, let somebody else have a chance.
Oh, no.
Walter never did that, you know. The nibbler machine, when I'd go in when the arcade opened and I put a quarter in that machine, he only made 25 cents on that machine all day long. But he encouraged it, and not too many people were willing to do that back then.
Getting 1 billion points, how long did it take? 36 hours, is that right?
When I did it when I was 16, it took me 44 hours and 45 minutes.
Come on.
I started at 2 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon, and I finished at 11:45 in the morning on a Tuesday morning.
Now, there is a little trick in Nibbler, isn't there, that you can build up lives so that you can walk away from the cabinet for a few minutes and go off and go to the bathroom and things like that. What was the longest time you were away from the cabinet whilst you were getting the 1 billion points?
Probably maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
5 to 10 minutes. I didn't like to be gone very long. It just made me nervous. You know, and the longer that you're away from it, the longer your game's going to go.
Yeah.
You know, if you're taking 10-minute breaks every hour, every 2 hours, you know, you just added 10 more minutes to your game, and pretty soon you've added an hour to your game, or, you know, more. So the idea is, you know, not to really leave the machine unless you need to for some reason to keep going.
When you're playing it, and I've seen the game playing, it is fast, man. It is fast. Do you not go a bit blind, you know, because you're staring at this snake that's whizzing around and it's getting bigger and bigger? Do you not, I don't know, does it not become like a psychedelic experience, or you kind of do you not go mad?
Not till you're later into a marathon. For me, your eyes start getting funny and stuff when you get into the upper 30-hour range. When I got the record as a kid, there was a Cubert to the left of me. And I will never, ever, ever, ever do another marathon where I can see a Cubert machine in my peripheral vision. Well, it's got all the 3D cubes on it, and they're all different colors, and they're constantly changing. And just seeing that out of the corner of my eye, my peripheral vision, you know, after a while, it looked like Cubert was on the sides of the cubes. It looked like Cubert was on the bottoms. I was looking at it, and I asked Tom Galt, the kid playing, I'm like, how did you get it on the bottom of the cube? He looks at me and goes, what? What are you talking about? It's a Cubert. It's on the bottom of the pyramid. He's like, no, it's not. I said, yeah, it is. How'd you do that?
Tim McVeigh is tripping on Nibbler.
Yeah, definitely.
The film is a joy, and I don't want to give away too much of the story of the film, but when did the filmmakers get in touch with you? And was it a surprise to get a phone call saying, hey, we want to make a documentary about you?
Well, Walter actually contacted me and said he had been contacted by a couple guys from Hollywood that were interested in interviewing me to possibly do a documentary. And I just kind of chuckled, and I was like, yeah, okay, Walter, who put you up to this?
Yeah.
You know, because it was 25 years later, 26 years later, whatever, and I hadn't really talked about it, kind of like what my wife told you. You know, I hadn't really talked about it for years and years and years. So I said, sure, whatever, Walter, go ahead, give them the info. And they didn't contact me right away, and by the time they did, I basically forgot about it. I mean, it was 4 or 5 weeks, maybe longer, and they called, and they said who they were, and they wanted to talk to me, and I'm like, you're who? You're you're calling for what? And, okay, what's the joke? Who put you guys up to this? And we just started talking. And when they originally asked about coming out here to Iowa to interview us the first time, it was just supposed to be a short documentary. Their original intention was like a 15, 20-minute documentary straight to YouTube. And they were going to talk about what I did as a kid and being the first person to get the score, and that's all there was going to be. That was it. And then, as time often does, things just changed. What was supposed to be the original ending happens pretty early on in the movie, which it shows me with Walter at a place in Chicago at the Video Game Summit, and they're giving me my certificate for getting the score as a kid. That was originally the end of the documentary. And driving back from Chicago, riding with Walter, well, what if this? Well, what if that? Do you think you could play? Do you want to play? Would you,
Wow. And
we talked all the way back. It's about a 5.5 hour drive. 2 days later, I sent Walter an email. I said, well, there's only one way to find out. You and Billy, if anybody can make it happen, you and Billy need to find me a machine. Let's find out. And then it went from there, one thing after another.
It's interesting, Tim, it's interesting you mentioned Billy Mitchell, right? Again, if you've not seen the film, Billy Mitchell is another video game. Is he the... I'll get confused. What is he the champion of?
Right now, I don't believe anything at the moment.
Okay.
But over the course of time, he was the very first person to get an absolute perfect Pac-Man score.
That was it.
And he was the subject of the King of Kong. There was a high score battle going for the Donkey Kong record. At one time, I believe Billy held Pac-Man, Donkey Kong Jr., Centipede, Burger Time, and I think I'm forgetting one. He had like 5 or 6 of them all.
And what's interesting, Tim, is in this, because I've seen King of Kong and it's beautiful. In King of Kong, Billy Mitchell is portrayed as the bad guy, and he's seen as kind of being a bit of a bully. Yet in this film, in Man vs. Snake, he comes across as the good guy. He's there. He's giving you encouragement. He wants to get on the phone and kind of give you positive messages when you're struggling a bit. And I wonder was he being portrayed as the bad guy in King of Kong just for a bit of theatre?
Okay, we'll go 2 directions on that.
Yeah.
In my film, Billy really did belong there. There was a comment in one of the gaming forums, well, they had to go get Billy Mitchell or it wouldn't be an official documentary or, something to that effect. And I said, Billy was there in the tumble when I got the score as a kid. He was one of the people that stayed awake with me when the arcade closed and helped me stay awake. So he was there then. This wasn't we had to go get him type thing. And then the other part of it is it relates to the King of Kong. When I was at that event in Chicago, another really famous gamer, Todd Rogers, was there. And a couple of the people that were there asked him questions about the King of Kong. And I thought Todd had a really interesting answer. He said, okay, so he says, let's suppose I have a script to a film. And I make 11 copies of it. And I give that script to 11 different directors. What do you suppose you're going to watch when they're done? And, nobody really answered. And Todd says, well, do you think that you're going to watch 11 of the exact same movie?
Yeah.
Or do you think you're going to watch 11 different movies, even though the story was the basis, it was the same story? Well, the logical answer is everybody's going to do their own twist on it. They're going to edit it the way they think it needs to be edited. They're going to tell their story. So the Billy I know is much, much more the Billy that's in my documentary. Yeah. The Billy that was in King of Kong, I think they took a little bit of creative liberties and maybe went out. I wasn't there, but my personal opinion from the guy I know and what I watched on the film and the stories I've heard, they got a little creative with the editing to try to build up a rivalry and make it into more than it was.
I'm glad you said that because I think I fell for it when I watched The King of Kong, and it was a real revelation to see him being absolutely charming and delightful and supportive of you in your movie.
If you ever had a chance to meet him, I think that's the person you would meet.
Yeah,
I mean that's the person I know and I've known for decades.
Oh, I'm going to try and get him on the show at some point in the future. You did. This isn't too much of a spoiler alert. You do get the billion points again in the present day. How many efforts did it take this time around to do it? And how heartbreaking was it every time you failed?
Ironically, both scores took 7 tries. It was the 7th try each time.
Yeah.
That's why I've had a few people ask me if I'm going to try it again. I said, boy, one more marathon, maybe 2, but I don't know that I want to do 7 more of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know why that's my magic number. It's tough, and it got tougher as it went along because the first time I tried it, nobody was really watching. Nobody really knew about it. Nobody really knew me that much. some of the people you did, from years ago, but in the modern time, it was streaming wasn't really out there. I think, Dwayne Richard and I, when we went to MagFest, we were adamant that if we're going to do this event out in Washington, D.C., away from our friends and family, with the Internet, it's got to be on the Internet. Somehow, some way, if you want us to travel out there and play, you have to promise us that you will put it on the Internet so our friends and family back home can watch. So that brought more people in. Just that one trip, that was kind of the beginning of it. And then every time I played, I had more people watching and more people talking about it, and then I would fail. And then, it's, well, when are you going to play again, Tim? When are you going to play again? And it kept going. It was frustrating. I felt like I was letting everybody down, and I don't like to be that guy, It was frustrating for my wife. It was frustrating for me perfectly. Or for me, you look back on it and you think, well, I did it before. I should be able to just do it again, And you can play really well, and then it just doesn't happen. I never had blisters as a kid. As a kid, I rode a BMX bike. I was into wrestling. I played football. My hands were tougher. I was always outside, always doing something. And we lived in the arcade. All the arcade machines, literally all the arcade machines, had joysticks. A few trackballs, but you were constantly playing with the joystick. So you had calluses in all the places that you probably really needed them. Fast forward to, modern times, and you're using the Xbox controller with the little thumbsticks, and those calluses and those tough hands are long gone. So I really struggled with blisters. That was a really big problem, and I was starting to think I was never going to get it, and I found some gloves that helped me prevent the blisters. So
I love
that really is what kind of pushed me over the top. Just trying to fight through and get rid of them.
Tim, is Tina still there?
Yeah, she's sitting right
Tina, I wanted to ask you, because you are so supportive of Tim, and it's such a joy to see you. How difficult was it for you each time Tim failed to do it? How did you console him? What did you do? Did you disappear? How did you help?
Well, I was always, it's like I said in the film, I was always going to be there to support him no matter what. And it's a struggle.
Yeah.
These people that they don't realize how much of a struggle it is for gamers who do marathons, and they're up for 30, 40, some of them 50-plus hours with no sleep. And, his last attempt, I stayed up with him the whole entire time.
Oh, that is dedication.
And at that time, she'd never drank coffee. She had no caffeine supplements, no energy drinks, just sheer willpower.
Yeah.
So she really got a feel for what that feels like. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, honey.
So it's like, you have the mindset that they get into of, after 30 some odd hours, it's, you start getting that, it's like Dwayne talked in the movie, where's that haze coming from? Yeah. And they start getting tired and just start talking to themselves and it's crazy.
One of the neater ones, they had an Iron Man 2 contest down in Ottumwa in November of, I think it was 2011. And I was in it, and Rick Carter was in it. Rick's in the Man vs. Snake as well there briefly. But my machine malfunctioned, and I ended up getting third place. Well, when the machine malfunctioned, we loaded it up, and we went home. I think it was like 32 hours into the game, and we loaded it up, and Tina drove, and we came home. And the next day, we went back down to the event, and there's Rick still playing. He's the last guy standing. He's still playing Cubert.
Wow.
Nobody's in the room with him, and I walked in, and I didn't want to disturb him because I know how it is when you get really tired, and you've been in a long game. So I sat down on a chair probably 4 or 5 feet behind him, kind of off to his right a little bit so I could see the screen, and I just kind of sat there. And he was sitting there having a conversation with nobody.
Wow.
There was nobody there.
Yeah.
And I remember him talking about the damn tree and the tree branches, and I was like, what the hell is he talking about? He's playing Cubert. What tree? So I sat there for a while, and then we finally left, and we went home again that night, second night. Go back the next day, and Rick's game had finally ended, and he'd went and got some sleep, and later that evening, we all went out to dinner. And I looked at him, I said, okay, you've had some sleep, right? And he goes, yeah. I said, are you feeling normal? You feeling like yourself right now? He says, yeah, I'm fine. Why? I said, okay, when I went in there last night, you were sitting there, and you were having a conversation with yourself, and you were talking about the tree. You couldn't figure out how to get up the tree trunk. And he smiles and he goes, yeah, he says, the bottom 2 rows of cubes on Cubert were down at the base of the tree, and then there was a tree trunk that went up, and then all the rest of the cubes were setting up on the branches, on the limbs, and I couldn't figure out how to get from the bottom part of the cubes up the tree trunk to the top. And I was just looking at it and going, okay, I know that was...
Isn't the human mind weird?
Yeah.
Tim and Tina, I tell you what, it's such a joy to hear you. You're so obviously very much in love with each other, and it's such a joy to hear it. And it was such a pleasure to watch that film. Final question, Tim, and I'll let you go. And I love the fact that I asked you to come on a Thursday, and you said, "Oh, I can't do Thursday. It's date night for us." I love it. I love you two. What's next for you, Tim?
I've always had it in my head that I wanted to. When I played Nibbler, I started at 2:00 in the p.m. on a Sunday, and I got down at 11:15 in the morning on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And went across 3 different days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. But everybody always says, well, you played that game for 2 days. And my answer is always, no, I played for 44 hours and 45 minutes. 2 days is 48 hours.
Yeah.
I never played for 2 days. So the next thing, I'd made a bucket list thing with it when I was a kid because I was kind of crazy. Had the billion was the first thing. The second thing was 48 hours, which I haven't done yet. The third thing was 50 hours, which, I mean, that's hardly any farther, but that would get my 2 days down, and then the 50 hours was just kind of a neat number.
Yeah.
The next number was 72 hours.
Shut up, man!
The next number on the list after that would have been 2 billion, and then the final number on the list was 100 hours. We used to be crazy enough to think that you could play for 100 hours on a game. George Lutz, playing Cubert, he played into the 90-hour range.
Man,
but he took naps because Cubert allows you to bank so many lives.
Right.
He was actually able to sleep and get some sleep. As kids, that's not what we had intended. I mean, no disrespect to him at all. That was amazing what he did.
Yeah.
But our idea was 1 quarter, 1 game. You stayed awake for the duration.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy enough to think I can do any of that anymore, but I think 48 hours is reasonable. And since I'm actually 49, I've had it in my head that I want to try to play for 50-plus hours once I'm 50 years old.
Tim?
That's sometime after next August.
Tim, if you decide to do it, man, let us know and we'll cover it on here. And but both Tim and Tina, the film is such a joy, and there is still so much in the film that we've not revealed. It's man versus snake, and there are so many different stories that are going on. I really appreciate you both coming on. I think I just think it's wonderful. And it's such a good story. Thank you so much, Tim, and thank you, Tina.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Take care. We'll speak again soon. We'll speak to him when he does the 50 hours. Oh, I loved that. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it's a little bit geeky, but what a lovely couple they were. Tim McVeigh. Man vs. Snake is the film. I've missed 2 ad breaks. I'm so sorry. Here we go. This is Talk Radio.
Late night, Iain Lee on Talk Radio.
We have ways of making you talk.
03. Oh, look, we've got 20 minutes of the show left to go. 03 44 499 1000. I'm just watching the videos that Russell has sent me. As always, things are a little bit more complicated. It's not. I don't know. There's nothing I can do anyway. But it's not particularly pleasant viewing. Last 20 minutes of the show, dear listener. If you want to take part, now is the time to call. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. We call you back as well. And don't forget, loads of you don't know this, so I should remind you, James Whale is back. James Whale has come home 7 o'clock in the evening till 10 o'clock at night. He's my warm-up act. Monday to Thursday. James and Ash are back together again, so that's got to be a cause for celebration. What have we spoken about this evening? Well, TV is rubbish. Adverts are rubbish. I am going to this week, between now and the end of Friday night show, I'm not going to post any negative things on Twitter. How's about that? Now, I will probably come a cropper quite quickly, so if I post something that you perceive to be negative, then give me a little bump. Send me a little, excuse me, didn't you say? I will probably tell you to F off, and then I will apologise immediately. That's what I will do. And I think maybe, because Twitter is,
it is a vile, vile place, isn't it? It's a thoroughly unpleasant place. And maybe if we all made a bit of an effort to not be unpleasant on there, the world would be a nicer place. No, it probably wouldn't, would it? But you never know. You never know. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. I was wondering, tonight, of course, is the supermoon. And I was wondering if it would have an impact in the calls we would have, because there are some who subscribe to a school of thought that a full moon has that's why people are called lunatics, isn't it? Because there is a theory that the moon not only controls the tides, we are made up of 80% water, and so it controls our brains and stuff like that. I kind of partly go along with that, and I think tonight we have had. Well, we've definitely had some more emotional calls than perhaps we would normally get. And I wonder if this super moon has played any part in that. I mean, Russell obviously was very upset. It got a little bit fraught with Russ. Barry, of course, was a little bit tense, as I suspected. Nobody has had anything new to say about Trump. I mean, triumph. Bad wordplay aside, loads of people have said he'll be a good president. Loads of people have. So that's not new. So I was right. My prediction on that was right. I look forward to Barry's second call. He will make another. He won't be able to resist it. Barry's listening now. These type always do. And he's fuming because he knows he can't phone in to have a go at me, because that will prove he's listening. But I've been proven right. There is nothing new or original to say about the president-elect. And yet I know when I get in my car and flick through the radio stations, they'll be talking about Donald Trump. The boring fella on the other thing when we drive home, it's going to be tedious pomposity about it. I'm wondering, I'm thinking out loud, if I can come up with an original Trump phone-in, and even me, with my marvellous brain, I couldn't come up with an original, certainly not an original phone-in topic on him. I mean, we couldn't do a phone-in on how would you assassinate him, which is probably the only original one. How would you go about killing the president-elect? Call me now. Don't. But that's the only... Anyway, 15 minutes of the show. If you want to give us a call, you can. Otherwise, I'll just sit here talking to myself. 0344 499 1000. This is Talk Radio.
Unmissable late-night radio with the original king of unconventional conversation.
Make contact with Iain Lee.
Late Night Iain Lee on Talk Radio. We'll get you talking.
I like it when... we haven't had it for a while. I do like it when... the show sort of winds down for the last... Oh, hang on, let me plug that in. That's what that... ow! That's licked an electric cable. That was silly. I do like it when the show kind of winds down over the last half an hour or so. I've just had an email from Tim McVeigh. Nicest man in the world. Thanks so much for having me on. I really enjoyed it. Second email. I've just spoken to the team that made the film. Is there a link to listen to it? I replied saying, listen, we'll put it as a podcast. I'll send you the link. And if you go for a world record attempt again, get in touch, man, and we'll speak to him while he's doing the world record attempt. Wow, imagine that, speaking to him 40 hours into it. Wasn't he nice? Just, what a lovely couple when he said, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Oh, man alive. Kyle!
Evening, second appearance, sorry.
After I destroyed you in the first appearance.
It seems like a lifetime ago.
It does, doesn't it? In many ways. For some people, it was a lifetime. Just think, what are the stats, Kyle, on the rate at which people die? Because I wonder how many people have died, A, around the world, and B, in this country, since we last spoke about 2 hours and 40 minutes ago. I wonder how many people have died. Catherine, could you do 3? 3 people have died. Oh, shut up. You just literally just pulled that finger out of your ass. Out of Ed's ass. Do some research, for God's sakes, team. I demand stats. Kyle. Yeah?
Sorry, no, you can't tell it to Kath.
What?
You can't tell it to Catherine.
Yes, I can. I'm a boss.
Oh.
Oh, she's saying one person has died. Oh, no, she's not. She's being rude.
Oh.
Get to the point, Kyle, before I destroy you a second time.
Well, no, I was just going to say, obviously, very sad about Russell's call earlier.
Yep, very, very sad, wasn't it?
Obviously, hopefully I can try and help. But the other thing is...
oh, yeah, Russell sent me his email. Kyle, I will put you in touch with Russell, if that's right. Russell, Kyle has got a possible solution. I've also emailed Russell and said, look, if you want me to email your boss and you know... I'm happy to do that. I think I can do that. I can't get too involved because I don't know the ins and outs. But I've seen the videos and yeah, maybe I can send an email to his boss or something. But I'll put you two in touch, Kyle.
Yeah, no, that's cool. But I put Periscope on tonight for the first time in ages. And have you got an Arms T-shirt on? Are you part of the militia?
Yes. If you're watching on Periscope, I've got a T-shirt. Jonathan's Army. Arms, A-R-M, small s. Albion Revolutionary Militia. Yeah, I've got a T-shirt done, mate. I'm in. I'm totally in.
Yeah, but have we actually heard from him since, from Jonathan, since, I saw the pictures at the weekend.
I can't answer that question.
That's bizarre.
I can't answer any more questions about arms.
Oh, is that because you're now a member?
Sorry?
Is that now because you're a member?
The line's breaking up, caller.
Right. Oh, I shall leave it with you then, Ian, to hang about with Jonathan.
Let's just say, Kyle, you're on the list. Thank you very much indeed. Wow, is that worldwide? Just in this country? Blimey, Rashid.
Hello.
Have a guess at how many people have died in this country in the last 2 hours?
17.
Well, when we say this... No, hang on a minute. Catherine has given me false information. Absolute false... They're both waving their arms going, no, that's not correct. We'll have to hold off on that fact. I could have just said it and people would have believed it. What have you called in for, Rashid?
Well, because it's the brightest moon since 1948, I think, it's time. I haven't done it for a while.
Here we go.
Can I go for it?
Please do, buddy. Please do.
Blue moon, I saw you standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Ba 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 dang ba dang dang ba ba dong ding ba ding ba dong ding. Blue moon, blue blue blue. Blue, 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 ba 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 dang da dang dang dippy dippy dong ding ba ding ba dong ding. Blue moon.
I think he makes those words up. A dippy dong dong. That was a Right Said Fred song, wasn't it? Dippy dong dong. Oh no, Deeply Dippy Dong Dong. So 117 people have died in the last 2 hours. And you cannot pin any of them on me because I was on Periscope the whole time. But, of course, how they would have done that in Columbo's day is I would have filmed this. It's like, is it Saw 2 or Saw 3? The one where he's watching the horrific events unfold on a TV screen and then the clues... And then he gets to work out, he pieces the clues together and gets to work out where the people are. Spoiler alert.
And then it turns out he was watching a video of what happened the day before. So he gets there, and they're good, the Saw films. I like them. The first one, is it the first one? The first Saw one is the one in the toilet. I want to play a game. Have you never seen a Saw film, Kath? Oh. The first one is absolutely brilliant. It really is a brilliant. It's two men wake up in a filthy toilet. It looks like a public toilet. And they're chained. They're in separate corners of the room. And they're chained. And they don't know who put them there. And they can't move. They can't escape. It's absolutely brilliant. You'd be scared. Let's watch Saw together. Let's watch Saw before the show tomorrow night. That's what we'll do. And then I think the second one is the one where they're in a house, I think. And that's quite good. And then the third one, I think, is a little bit rubbish, really. I want to play a game. That's where that came from. I want to play the game. Well, look, there's no point in touting for phone calls because people aren't going to phone in. But I think we've had a deliciously weird and wonderful show that's kind of gone all over the place tonight. I suspect the supermoon has had some impact on it. It was interesting. There was an interview with an astronomer. They're the good guys, aren't they? They're the science guys on Radio 4, and he said this happens. The supermoon happens kind of fairly regularly. He said, but no one's ever been interested in it before until about 2 years ago when an astrologer called it the supermoon, and until then, no one was that bothered by it. And suddenly, now it's branded. Everybody's it's like a thing, and I suspect it's played a part on the show. But then, if I say that, does that mean that I believe in astrology? Of course not. That's gubbins, absolute nonsense. How could anyone think that the alignment of the planets, the moment that you pass out of your mother's tummy, has an impact on the way you live your life and events that happen in your life? That's obviously, maybe we'll talk about this a bit more tomorrow because we're coming to the end of the show now, but that's obviously complete and utter rubbish, isn't it? I mean, it would be nice if it had a little bit, but it can't do, can it? Anyway, maybe that's a conversation for another day. That's it for tonight. We've got Matt Haig coming in tomorrow. Oh, brilliant. Matt Haig's going to come in tomorrow. And also we've got Dennis Le Corrier's coming on as well at past. A busy show tomorrow. We may not have time for your calls. I'm sure Matt will take your calls. Dennis will take your calls as well, actually. I'll take your calls. We'll fit it all in. We'll put up the Tim McVeigh interview as a podcast tomorrow evening, as well as a best of. And don't forget, keep an eye on me on Twitter. If I post anything that could be perceived as negative between now and the end of Friday's show, I must change my name back because I've changed it on there to Tony Mustafa, then just send me a little nudge and say, oi! I thought you weren't going to post negative stuff. I bet I'll fail. I'll fail tomorrow, but we'll have a go. Thank you as always, Edward. Thank you, Catherine. Back tonight at 10. Ta-ta.
Talk Radio. 24-hour radio debate and entertainment.
Talk Radio.
We'll get you talking.